Hi, Coach. I know yesterday's result was a tough one to take. Just after evaluating everything on film, what were the biggest things that kind of stood out to you?
The biggest thing is us as a staff, myself, putting the guys in better positions in certain situations. And I know third down was an issue for us at some point yesterday. And the issue came, it wasn't third down, because really you're playing anybody. 3rd and 4 to 6, that's pretty tough. It's tough on you as a play caller. It's tough on the players because the offensive coach's playbook is so wide open. And so where I have to be better at, we had them in several 2nd and longs. And instead of continue to be aggressive in those situations, I did not, and that allowed them to get 10 yards, 12 yards. And so instead of it being 3rd and 12, 3rd and 10, where it's easy to call defense, is 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. And that's a tough spot, especially with where the ball is on the field. And so like I told the guys, I've got to definitely put those guys in a better position in those 2nd down situations, which in return will help us on 3rd down.
Addison, you guys played a lot of snaps in the first half. I think the offense only had 16 snaps. The defense was on the field a lot. Was there some of that fatigue? Was it wore down? I mean, your defensive line, a lot of those guys played the entire game, most of the snaps. Was that some of the way what happened late in the game?
Fatigue definitely set in, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, some of those drives that went a little longer in the first half were because of play calling, poor execution on 2nd and longs, which put us in 3rd and mediums, which is very much good for the offense. And at the same time, though, we were scoring really fast. And so when you're scoring really fast like that, and then you score on defense and you get right back out there, it's tough. And it takes a toll on you as the games wear on. So that's where depth has to come in and play a factor as well.
You mentioned the score on defense, obviously. Damari Henderson came back a couple weeks ago from an injury in the spring. What's his role been like on the defense since he's come back?
He's picked up right where he's left off. He was in a prime position to earn a starting role before he hurt himself, and now he's come back. He's very confident in what he's doing. He's still young, so there's still going to be some mistakes that he makes, but I feel I'm very pleased with the progress Damari's making and glad that we have him back.
How do you evaluate what you're seeing from your team in terms of tackling?
We got to be better. It's something that we got to be better at. It's something that we worked extremely hard on last Tuesday. And honestly, we worked hard on it throughout the course of the summer as much as we can, but it's nothing like tackling the live body. We can hit the sleds all we want. We can hit the scout team all we want, but it's nothing like doing it in a live situation. So just continuing stressing the fundamentals of tackling and wrapping guys up. And one of the biggest things I talk to the guys about is not diving out at their legs. When you dive out at the ground, you lose all your power. So when you think you're close enough, take that extra step to put your chest on that guy. And if we are trying to roll tackle or cut a guy, you can't cut him on his thigh board or roll tackle him on his thigh board. You have to be a lot lower than that. So we'll continue talking about it. We'll continue coaching it. We'll continue pointing out the good examples and the bad examples. And we'll be better as we continue to go.
Did you see a difference from the Kansas State game to the Baylor game in tackling?
It was better, to be honest with you, but we missed some tackles in some critical moments. Now, there's a couple times where we just got out physical, where a guy may have ran us over, but our guys got up and they got him on the ground. So, and I'm fine with that. Like I said, I can take losing a rep if that guy was better than me on that snap, but at the same time, I got to bounce back that next snap and be better than him. And if we're better than them on more snaps, then you'll be in a prime time spot. But sometimes you're going to lose. It's just like in the trenches, O-line, D-line, sometimes they get the best of you. But I think that we put ourselves in a better position to make tackles. Obviously, it was 3 critical missed tackles on that last drive there when they kicked the field goal. But we'll continue to be better, and it was better from the Kansas State game.
Coach, just talking about that depth, you guys recruited a lot of guys that can probably get out there and go. What kind of goes into that rotation? Maybe giving those guys like drop, or maybe like a Josh Salazar, a little glow with like maybe like a Caleb Call or Isaiah Nixon, Sean Peterson. You know, you have such a great collection of talent. What does go into making those substitutions when those guys maybe need a blow?
A lot of the times it's the flow of the game, and during the game it's the flow of the game. Prior to the game, it's obviously earning the right on the practice field and just earning that trust of your position coach, myself as a coordinator, and ultimately Coach Malzahn's trust. So that's the biggest thing that going in, just us trusting you more each and every day. But just with the flow of some of the games, it just gets so crazy. It's like, can I really put him in right now? And the biggest thing is you don't want to put especially a young guy, you don't want to put a young guy in a bad spot where it can stunt their growth. So I'm not into that at all.
We saw both Kansas State and Baylor now seem to get stronger offensively in the second half. How do you kind of build the stamina maybe to compete in the second half and get stops in the second half, or what do we have to see from the team to kind of turn that trend around?
One thing we talked about is finishing. We've been talking about it each and every week, and to be honest with you, we have not finished any game we played this year. And it goes back to preparation throughout the week. We got to make sure we finish a Tuesday practice, finish a Wednesday practice, finish a Thursday practice, and once we start completing full weeks of practice, we'll be able to finish in games. But my role in that is to not allow drives to be prolonged because I made a bad call on the second and long. You know what I'm saying? So I can help them from that standpoint. But putting the ball in their court is to make sure we're finishing practice on Tuesday, finishing on Wednesday, finishing on Thursday. And I think we'll be in a prime time spot moving forward. It's been, obviously, yesterday sucks and it's very embarrassing, but at the same time, you got to find a way to use it as a learning experience and not be a Debbie Downer about it for the rest of the season.
Addison, how do you balance flushing out what happened in the fourth quarter versus learning to make sure that it doesn't happen again? How do you get the guys to kind of put it behind them, but also learn that it can't happen again?
Just showing them different things on tape on where we could have been better, where I could have been better, and where I will be better. And at the same time, I pointed out to the guys, okay, listen now, you played Baylor yesterday, who won the championship in 2021. You played Kansas State last week, who won the championship in 2022. And so you're 21-21 at the end of the third quarter against Kansas State. You're up 35-10 at the beginning of the fourth quarter against Baylor yesterday. So what does that tell you guys? That you belong. We belong in this conference and we can compete in this conference, but at the same time, I do a better job during series, but we as a defense have to do a better job throughout the week and make sure we're completing days and completing weeks of practice, and that's been the message to them. But at the end of the day, they see that you can play with the big dogs. And so what are we going to do, myself included, to fix the little things that we need to fix so we can start finishing these games? Because at the end of the day, we have an opportunity to win against every team that we play that's left on the schedule. Obviously, these last two are behind us at this point. We'll move forward and we'll be better from it.
Addison, you played two Big 12 teams. What has stood out about how these teams their makeup? I mean, have you seen depth? Is it anything that you really kind of can point to that maybe shows a little different than when you guys have played in the past?
Size and physicality is the two differences that you see. They come off the bus, you see them. They are some pretty good looking dudes, and so you can tell that they've been on that level for a while, and the strength program and all this stuff is pretty good. But we'll definitely get there, and we'll continue to recruit better. We'll continue developing the guys that are here. So we will be right where we need to be. But as I just said, we're deep in the third quarter against the conference champs from last year, and we're up 35-10 against a team that, in the fourth quarter, against a team that won the championship 2 years ago. So I'm not going to sit there and make an excuse for that. Our guys do belong, and I think they've shown that. We just got to do a better job as coaches helping them finish games.
You had 5 linebackers on the initial 2D depth chart. Cam Moore wasn't on it, but he's been one of the most repped linebackers the last 2 weeks. What's gone into that decision? How have you liked?
It all starts on the practice field and preparation. You earn the right to step on the field, and so the guys that have proved that they know what to do, they've earned that right, they've earned the trust of their coach, they'll go out there, and the other guys, they just got to continue or change something that they're doing to earn that trust in your coach to put you out there.
How does not having a full-strength Ricky Barber impact what you're hoping to do?
Ricky's a really good player, so anytime you're down a really good player like that, it's always tough. But we got good players behind him, so it's a next man up mentality, and no different than when Coach Malzahn talks about when we're playing with the backup quarterback. All right, and Timmy's done a really good job, in my opinion. But everybody around him has to raise their level of play. And so when you lose a guy like Ricky Barber, who's been very stout for us the last couple of years, inside, everybody else around him and the guy that's filling in for him got to raise their level of play.
The mantra's been the standard is the standard throughout this whole entire process. Through the first 2 games against the Big 12, there's been over 40 points allowed in the fourth quarter and 56% completion percentage on 3rd and 4th down cumulatively. What does it mean that standard is the standard?
We got to finish. Point blank period. We got to finish. I got to be better, and like I said, I got to put them in better situations early on in series that will help later in series. And because what happens in college football, as the snap count go up, whether it's overall snap count or the snap count within series, bad things started to happen. At the end of the day, you're still playing with 18 to 22-year-old young men, but me being in my position, I have to find a way to limit those snaps. And when I limit those snaps, then in return, the points will go down and the completion percentage and all that stuff go down because our guys will be fresh. So that's where I got to be better at. And like I said, I vowed to them that I will be better putting those guys in a better position early on in series to help them out later in series.
Coach, you said get better at tackling is a mindset, finishing game is a mindset. I mean, you can't change the guys you have. How do you maybe increase that mindset or maybe kind of change that mindset so you guys can go out there and, like you say, finish a game because you haven't, like you mentioned, finished one, or like the tackling situation?
One is everything, just point out every time that they're in that situation, and even like pulling clips from other teams playing, whether it's a college game, whether it's an NFL game, showing them those different situations, not just showing them the good, but showing them the bad as well, and showing that, hey, this could be us in this position, what are we going to do? So mentally preparing them from that standpoint, and then from a physical standpoint, just doing different things at practice that we may not have done in the past that can help put those guys in the best position on Saturdays.
Kansas, they're going on the road this week. You know, they were off to a really good start. They have an excellent quarterback, Jayden Daniels. I understand, I guess he strained his back and did not play this past Saturday against Texas. Just what are your expectations of their offense, and just what do you think about Jayden Daniels if he does play?
Well, Jayden Daniels, he's a really, really good player. I believe he was Big 12 preseason player of the year. So he's a really, really good player. They create so many issues offensively with all the different formations, the shifts, the motions, the different personnel groupings, even putting two quarterbacks on the field at the same time. But at the end of the day, whether Jayden Daniels play or not, Bean is a really good quarterback too. He's won a lot of games there, did a really good job, and at the end of the day, we expect to see both of them at some point on this Saturday in Kansas.
Appreciate it, Coach.
I appreciate y'all.